My name is Tamara Persick. I work here at El Paso District Library, and I also homeschool 4 kids, ages 17 down to age 5. We just want to have a discussion about the beginning homeschooling, give you some basic information, and a little bit of a head start as we're trying to make decisions moving forward for the fall.
I'm Heather Marie Kosher. I am the president of the El Paso District Library Board of Trustees. I'm also a homeschooling mom. My oldest is 8, my second is 5, and I also have a 2-year-old. We're going to start just by telling you a little bit about some of the homeschooling laws. For Illinois, specifically, they are very lenient. There's only 2 things you have to follow in Illinois, and the first is that instruction has to be in English. You can teach foreign languages, but the majority of instruction must be in English. And there are some subject areas you have to cover, and those are language arts, math, biological and physical science, social studies, fine arts, and physical development and health. Those are the only requirements for Illinois homeschooling.
And there's no proving it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about somebody checking up on you. So it's pretty relaxed.
Yeah, how you keep records is up to you. Some people are very detailed. I personally write down what we do each day in a calendar, and that's how I keep track. Other people I know take pictures of their work and have an electronic file. How you do it is up to you.
And talking about the different age groups too, and the homeschooling versus public school. In public school, they're in school from around 8 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. You do not have to be, like she was talking about the flexibility, you do not have to be doing schoolwork from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There are recommendations for different age groups and how much time they should be spending on school. And it's not what you would normally expect. I know for high school age, it's about 3.5 to 6 hours. They can get the necessary work done depending on the student. So, and younger kids,
Preschool is 45 minutes of actual learning time, kindergarten an hour to an hour and a half, and that doesn't have to be we're sitting down for an hour and a half chunk.
right.
My kids, I'll read to my 2-year-old and 5-year-old for maybe 15 minutes, and then we'll have a play break, and then I'll sit down with the 5-year-old and maybe we'll do math for 10 minutes, have another play break. Maybe he'll help me in the kitchen, looking at measuring, like I'm measuring for a meal. That counts as a life skill and as a math. So it doesn't have to be just sit down, we're doing this book for an hour and a half. It can be spread out. And with that, you don't have to do it Monday through Friday.
Right.
There have been days, we're gonna take Monday off. So let's do some school on Sunday, or I don't wanna work today, we're gonna take Wednesday off. Or it's a rainy day, so we're gonna do extra work today because tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful.
Yep. And I have family up in Wisconsin, so we can plan trips up to Wisconsin and we can take schoolwork with us or do extra before we leave and after we get back. So we have a lot of family flexibility as well.
Yes, and you can homeschool all year. We consider ourselves year-round homeschoolers. With that said, we take a little extra time off during the fall because there's so many fun fall activities we like to go do, and around the Christmas holidays because that's what we enjoy doing versus taking off the summer when it's just too hot for us to go outside. We'd rather be inside working on school.
Talking about reasons for homeschooling, a lot of people are considering now this year to doing it because of COVID and the restrictions it's placing on public school. So that is definitely one of the main reasons right now people are taking it into consideration. But it's important to know why you homeschool because it can affect how you homeschool. If this is just a temporary decision, just to get through the next semester or the next year, and then you want to go back to public school, you definitely need to keep up with the curriculum so that you can get back into the public school, an easy transition.
Yeah, thinking about why you want to homeschool is important. One of the reasons we choose to homeschool is we like the flexibility. We're not morning people, so we like to be able to start later. Before COVID, we liked to do lots of field trips. We would go to the museums, art museums, science museums, zoos. The children's museums around here offer homeschool classes. Zoos offer homeschool classes. So we were not just sitting at home doing school all the time, we were doing a lot of other activities. Even doing nature walks, we would go with a group of, from toddlers up to high schoolers. The high schoolers would talk with the younger kids might ask questions of the older kids would maybe gather pictures of plants to identify later. So we like the flexibility. That is a little harder right now with COVID. We haven't been able to do any of our activities lately. We still go outside, maybe we'll walk around town and we'll do a listening walk as part of, talking about the 5 senses, or what can you smell when you're outside. So it's very flexible is one of the reasons why we homeschool.
And one of our main reasons is because of the values, the family values, building my kids' character. So we definitely work, and ours is also for religious reasons. So, but that also brings up it's not just those who are religious that are homeschooling. There's also a secular group, and there are definitely resources for both secular and Christian.
Yes, because we're the opposite. We are secular. We use secular curriculum. There are both available. There's religious curriculum, there's secular curriculum, and even religious homeschoolers might use some secular. Mm-hmm. We do include religious studies, so it's not completely off the table. And you can be religious and still be a secular homeschooler. So there's so much variety.
And flexibility.
Yes.
That's where the flexibility comes in again.
Yes.
And also, I know the school is offering the outsourced option, which is still different from the homeschooling. Homeschooling is not the same as school at home or the e-learning. Your parents are entirely in charge of the curriculum used, the methods, making sure that the kids are doing their work. From what I understand with the outsourcing option, a teacher is still going to be assigned to each student. Parents still have very minimal involvement. So there are multiple methods right now. Definitely some support and resources no matter which route you go, through the library, through online.
Yes, there's plenty of online if that's something you're interested in. For example, my oldest right now uses Rosetta Stone for foreign language. My 2 oldest both use Khan Academy for math. My oldest has started using Khan Academy for the reading and the grammar. As a family, we use what's on Khan Academy or YouTube. We can find videos for art, music. We also use textbooks and workbooks, printables online material that I've created. There's just so much available. So it's not, you have to get a textbook and workbook and sit at your table all day.
There are options for entire curriculums that they pretty much lay it all out for you, every different subject in one curriculum. But there's again a lot of flexibility. You can mix and match and use what works best for your family and for the age groups. She's got mostly younger kids and I have some older kids. And I've been homeschooling for 8 years, so we've gone through all of it. The older kids are, now that we've been doing it for a while, my older kids are definitely far more independent, able to pretty much do all of their own work. I am involved, but not as heavily as with the younger kids. There's definitely a lot more work involved if the kids are younger and can't read, can't navigate the internet themselves, but a variety of options.
And for variety too, you can tailor your homeschool experience to your preferences and your children's preferences. It's like my oldest is very hands-off. I assign her the work and she does it. If she has a question, she'll come to me, otherwise she is on her own. My second likes more hands-on time with me, so I will sit there with him. He is happy for me to sit there, even if he's just writing out words or whatever he's working on. If I'm sitting there, he's happy. My oldest, complete opposite. So you can really tailor it to your specific needs and desires of your child and what you like.
Mm-hmm. And subject matter as well. There's some variety or some flexibility in there. I know one of my kids reads far better when he's more interested in it, so I can provide him with better resources.
Yes, and more hands-on, like for subjects that are harder. An easy subject, we'll just finish the work and move on. A harder subject, we'll sit there and we'll work on it, like math. Maybe we'll do the same chapter a few days versus, a read through it, done, move on. We don't have to just stick to a strict schedule where everyone in a classroom has to follow along, kind of be together.
Yeah, you can slow it down or speed it up based on the child and how they're learning. Make sure they've got it down pat before you move on, and so, yeah, there's definitely a lot of benefit in that. There's also a lot of methods, a lot of different ways to homeschool, and a lot of different resources that go along with that. That's something we'll share on the website in the links to help guide. I know there's a quiz. I don't have the link for that just yet, but there's a quiz you can take to decide what method works best for your family, what works best for you, kind of help guide you to the right curriculum so you're not just totally lost. Because there really are so many different options.
And sometimes it takes trial and error.
Yeah.
I picked out some things where we started them and I hated it, my daughter hated it. Why would we continue doing something everybody hates? We find something else that teaches the same information in a different way. And you can pick different ways. Like, my kids love workbooks and textbooks. Not all kids like that. They might need something more hands-on, more visual. Audio, you can find audio books. So whatever helps your child learn best is what you can use.
Mm-hmm. There's also co-ops locally through Bloomington Normal. There's online, we've got Facebook groups, there's CASA. The Christian group here in town is the Heart of Illinois Homeschoolers. So we can definitely connect that way. A lot of families work together, provide support, provide resources, share resources, encourage one another. I know you're part of another group.
Yeah, the Secular Homeschoolers of Bloomington Normal is out of Bloomington Normal, and it's open to anybody within about a 40-mile radius. We had a preschool co-op up until COVID that we met once a week, and it was kind of from 2 to age 7, 8. Older siblings along with the younger ones, and we'd meet once a week. We'd learn about a topic, do some sort of activity together, and have social time. There's also a group in Pontiac that I'm a part of. So you can find them in different areas with different focuses. So as far as socialization goes, we're not sitting at home just doing school all day. We get out, we talk to other kids, we might learn with other kids through classes or co-ops, or even just a weekly day at the park where the parents can talk, the kids can go off and play and socialize. Even now with COVID, there's ways to socialize. My kids have discovered Messenger, and they're able to talk to their friends and keep up even if they can't be in the same area with them.
Yeah. And I know the Heart of Illinois Homeschoolers, some of them still get together for different athletics. I know there was a baseball game planned last week, and still social distancing, but still ways to get together and interact. There have been some, like you said, some messenger groups, discussions, some for the teens, some for the tweens. So there's definitely still ways of socializing. And the other thing that goes along with the co-ops is that if there's something, especially as the kids get older, I know a lot of parents are concerned about not being able to teach certain subjects or certain material. I'm no good at science. But again, there's a lot of resources. You can connect with other families who might do a better job of being able to explain. There's online resources, YouTube videos. My kids love YouTube videos when they're stuck on something with math or science or history. Sometimes a video helps explain history in a different way. And tons of free resources.
Yes, I'm a member of a group that's homeschooling through YouTube and Netflix is what it's called, and they focus on, videos and movies and films and visual things for learning, because some kids learn better that way.
Right. Yep. So You don't have to know everything to be able to homeschool. You just have to be able to guide and monitor.
Because that's one of the things I like too, is that I learn along with my kids.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in art. I don't know everything about art, so we'll get a book about an art style. We'll read it together. I'll learn something. My kids will learn something. We'll maybe watch some YouTube clips of the artist, emulate the art style, and I'll do that with my kids. So it can be as hands-on as you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's also where the library can come in and help provide any number of books that you're looking for on any subject. Even if we don't have it here, we can find ways to get it most of the time. So
yes, I get most of my homeschooling materials through the library.
So with all that said, we are open for discussions, for questions. If you have any specific questions, go ahead and email us at the library. The email is epplstaff@gmail.com. If you send us your phone number, we can give you a call back. We also have another librarian, Latina, that homeschools her children and has been doing so for years. So any one of the three of us can give you a call back and answer your questions. We're also going to be having kind of an open house outside here at the library. The open house will be next Wednesday, August 5th from 4:30 to 7:30. We'll bring in some of the local homeschooling families, will bring in their resources. And you can take a look. I know picking curriculums can be really difficult, and it can be really helpful to actually have something in your hand to hold and look at before you go and spend money on ordering. And you can talk to any one of the homeschooling families at that point also and ask more questions, kind of get to know those of us that have been homeschooling a lot. And also see the ways that the library can help provide support.